Thank you for staying with us on the news desk. I earlier told you that the president has announced the passing of the chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. And for more insight to the death of the lieutenant, the head of Strategy Center for Crisis Communications, Omeje, joins me on the news. It's good to have you join us on the news at 1.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Right, so let's begin with your own perception of who the lieutenant was while he was alive in terms of operation and, he himself as a human.
Well, I would like to begin whatever I want to say by, first of all, expressing my heartfelt condolences to his family, to the Nigerian Army family, to the Nigerian Armed Forces, and to entire Nigerians for the loss of this very patriotic Nigerian who had, paid his dues in terms of service to the nation. General Lagbaja is unfortunate we're not saying late General Lagbaja, but that's just the way of the mortal. And I think that, this is a man who assumed that position at a time when the country was, confronting, or of course I'll say confronting, all manner of internal security challenges, ranging from terrorism to insurgency to banditry to, kidnappings and violent, all manner of violence, and of course even the attack on maritime assets. So there are so many, theaters of operations across the country that this man led his troops to confront. Even before he assumed that position, don't forget that he was the GOC 1 Div. And when he assumed that position, of course, he came from the 2 division in Enugu. And when things became very tough in the south, in the northwest, he was drafted to 1 Div, 1 division in Kaduna, and he led from the front. He was, the stories were then that this general who was actually in the front fighting those troops, and he was able to accomplish quite a lot in that particular, assignment. Then he was made the Chief of Army Staff. He made his mark too. So here is a man who, all standard, you can say, is a gallant Nigerian soldier.
Right.
He has conquered a lot. Even though that the battle is still on, but while he was there, he made his mark positively. So, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about if there is a possible impact this will have as regards his position as the Chief of Army Staff before his passing, if it will have any implication on the Nigerian military's operation and possibly morale in that sense.
No, I don't think the Nigerian military is a very structured, organization. Of course, he knew that even before he eventually passed, the government, the military had actually taken steps to make sure that there's no fracking. That was why you saw that we now have the acting Chief of Army Staff, another gallant officer who, who is expected to continue from where, the chief had stopped. So I do not think that his death will, naturally, he was a leader. People will feel that pain that, here was a great commander who had just passed unexpectedly, in action, because, for me, I never knew he was sick. And most soldiers probably would not have the inclination that he was actually sick. All of a sudden, we heard that he was sick and was flown abroad, and now he has passed. So the only thing that will happen is that, within a couple of days, the shock, the natural grief will set in, and then of course things will fall into place. There will be a seamless, transition, and operations will keep on going. Our troops are professional. They will continue from the new commander, talking about the Chief of Army Staff, will definitely make sure that things are moving seamlessly and no room for stagnation. I want to believe that.
And yesterday, the president also decorated the acting Chief of Army Staff, like you said, promoted him to lieutenant. Perhaps you will talk to us about what should be his, priority and strategic focus.
Well, the priority is to make sure that the momentum is not lost. The priority, as far as I'm concerned, is to make sure that our troops remain focused, eyes on the ball, no distractions, not give the adversaries any respite, no sanctuary, no mercy. That is what I expected of that gallant infantry officer who is now. So I think troops to continue from where Lagbaja has stopped, and I expect the Nigerian military, to continue in that trajectory of, seamless joint operations, where you see the land troops and the air troops, and of course even the naval ones are always working hand in hand with the other sister security agencies. Look, there's nothing to fear about, I want to believe, because, like I said before, this is an organization that is actually very disciplined and professional. So I'm very sure that General Oloyede, the new one, will most definitely carry on, and victory will be ours as a nation.
All right, thank you, Chidi, for that. The head of Strategy Center for Crisis Communication, thank you for joining us on the News at 1.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.